TV brings to you exciting drama, documentaries, views, reviews, and much more.
In today's face-to-face segment, we will be meeting Satish Rai, one of the senior journalists and a director of the newspaper Asia Pacific Voice. Satish, welcome to Face to Face.
Thank you, Chandi.
Satish, you have a very interesting lead storyline this time in the newspaper. Why Bhojpuri?
Chandi, Bhojpuri language is a very ancient language of India, but until recently, not much interest was shown in it, although about 200 million Indians in northern India speak the language, and some 10 million overseas Indians speak the language, and for some reason little had been done or known about Bhojpuri language until about 2 years ago.
So what brought about this change?
Well, Chandi, suddenly there's a huge interest in Bhojpuri films, and practically most of the actors, big actors like Ajay Devgan, Amitabh Bachchan, Hema Malini, they're all heading towards Bhojpuri films. They're heading towards Uttar Pradesh to make films there. And that started only about 2 years ago. And I feel that the Bhojpuri film is going to take the Bhojpuri language to new heights.
You mentioned there are about 10 million overseas Indians who speak Bhojpuri. Where are these Indians based?
Well, Chandi, after the abolition of slavery around 1835, the British and other European governments started to take Indians to their colonies such as Suriname, Mauritius, Trinidad, South Africa and Fiji. Some 1.2 million Indians were taken in this way to these countries, and now they've attained to about 10 million people living in those original British colonies, and then a lot of also like us have migrated to Australia, New Zealand, UK, Canada and USA, Holland and other countries like that. And these people, because majority of the people who are taken under the indenture system, which is now commonly known as the Grim system, they were taken from Bihar and UP area, and they spoke Bhojpuri, and even today they speak sort of Bhojpuri language.
So what's happening in the Bhojpuri field in these countries?
In these countries, mainly in the West Indies, in Mauritius, Bhojpuri language is expressed through music. You and perhaps the viewers would know of the chutney music, very famous in Suriname, Trinidad, in Guyana and Mauritius. But in Fiji, there's no such thing as chutney music, but there are people who are singing or have been singing Bhojpuri songs, mainly in weddings. But now we've got people like Vidya Lok and Kumar who have recorded CDs in Bhojpuri. And also in Fiji, Professor Surmani has written a book called Doga Puran, which is written in Bhojpuri and is believed to be the first book of such kind written in Bhojpuri.
Satish, I understand that you have recorded a Bhojpuri music video yourself here in Sydney. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, Chandi, recently elderly lady, Mrs. Ramrati Babulal Singh, who is about 84 years old and has been singing Bhojpuri songs for many, many years, visited her family here in Australia and had the opportunity to record her songs on the camera, and we have since then made a DVD of those songs, which will be released shortly in Sydney.
So as you see it, How is the future looking for Bhojpuri?
Well, Chandi, with Bollywood megastars taking such huge interest in Bhojpuri films and the worldwide interest amongst the overseas Indians in the language, and with 200 million people speaking the language, I see great future for Bhojpuri language.
Now let's talk briefly about FISCA, Film and Arts Festival mentioned in the Asia Pacific Voice newspaper. Satish.
Well, Chandi, the FISCA's Film and Arts Festival is a joint project between this newspaper, the Asia Pacific Voice newspaper, FISCA, which stands for Fiji Indian Cultural Society of Australia, a few other organizations, business houses, and individuals. And this festival is being organized to promote the existing creative artists in our society and to encourage the huge number of creative artists we have in our community to come forward and showcase their creative talents.
That brings us to the end of today's program on Fiji TV. If you have any comments or suggestions on our program,
or if you wish to be a part of Fiji TV production, you can contact Satish Rai on 02 9608 6974 or send an email on rai2, that is RAI2 @iprimus.com.au. And that's all from my side. Goodbye.
goodbye and have a good week.
Fiji TV, brought to you by Lord's Jewelers.